ready to go. All right, so we can open the meeting. We'll start by reviewing the minutes from last month's sessions.
Everybody should have minutes from the regular meeting held on May 18th, 2026. Motion to approve.
I'll make them.
Motion by Kelly. Second by Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion is carried. There's Jamie. Second, we have two resolutions here. First resolution. The resolution approving the application for Iron Horn Enterprises. It's allowing a landscape buffer in the front yard of 2 feet.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Kelly. Second by Joe, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion is carried. Resolution approving the application of Adam Richardson. This is the property at 3350 Erie Boulevard East. This was approval of a parking space reduction of 19 spaces for a total of 13, with conditions that the applicant can only have one operating tenant on the first ground floor of the building only.
I'll make a motion.
By Kelly.
I'll second.
By Jamie, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion is carried. I'd also like to welcome our new member to the zoning board, Mark Peterson. He's down there at the end. Welcome, Mark. Thank you for volunteering your time to help the town do it. We appreciate it. Go ahead, Nicole.
Great. Our first application is Leanne Warbeck. Hi.
Hey, Josh, you want to say something real quick?
Yeah, sure. So my wife's the applicant. I'm gonna stay from voting. It's an area variance, but I'm still just gonna walk through the slides for everybody. Andy, you want to join me?
Sure.
I am gonna.
PowerPoint looked just great, but with all the work we put into this. So anyway,
Yeah, hold up. I'm gonna read the notice of public hearing, Josh. A notice is hereby given pursuant to section 267A of the New York State Town Law that a public hearing will be held by the zoning board of appeals of the town of DeWitt, New York. Town offices 5400 Buttermont Drive, East Syracuse, New York, Monday, June 15, 2026. 6:35 p.m. to consider the application of Leanne E. Warbeck, received by the DeWitt Town Clerk on May 21st, 2026. Concerning the premises situated on 102 York Road, tax parcel ID number 060-13020, Leanne E. Warbeck, owner, in a residential 2 zoning district. Specific relief requested by the applicant is an area variance of 7 feet to locate a residential driveway 1 foot on the property line on the west side of the principal structure, where DeWitt Town Code section 161-25C4 requires residential driveways to be located 8 feet or more from all property lines, and for such additional relief as may be necessary and appropriate. Stated June 3rd, 2026. Additionally, for purposes of seeker, the town is declaring lead agency for purposes of seeker. Type 2 action for an area variance for single family, 2-family, or 3-family residents. There are no negative environmental impacts associated with the proposed action. There's no planning board recommendation and no GML recommendation because it's residential. Case.
great.
Sorry for all that, Josh.
Oh, perfect. I love it. So I don't know the house. Leanne owns the house. She lets me live there with her. By the way. But this is our lot here. We're in DeWittshire around the corner. It's tight, DeWittshire, as we know. We have a single drive with can fit 2 cars, one behind each other. But we prefer to be able to park 2 cars so that we can get in and out, but not move the cars, especially in the wintertime when the plows come through. The driveway is already very close to the boundary line with our neighbor, Linda Adson. It's about 4 feet. You want to look at slide for me? That'd be great. Thanks. So our proposal is we're ready. That one is to replace the driveway in pink, and then to add a parking area, which is in red, and in blue is the widening of the driveway to the parking area. The red and the blue are all permissible by code as of right. It's just that the whole thing is too close to the boundary line, so we're going to go 4 foot down to 3 foot, which is just tight. But luckily, so that's the only variance we're requesting. It's just this 1 foot setback variance here. Go to the next slide. It's just a close up of the same diagram. Right now, the driveway is only about 6 feet wide, so you're permitted to 10 foot wide, perpendicular to the garage door, which is the pink, parking areas permissible by code. It could be up to 12 feet wide, we don't have anywhere near that space, you could go 12 by 18 by code, going 6 by 18. With a widening from that begins and completes itself within 20 feet of the drive, we begin and complete within 12. So all these colors are allowed, they'd be totally allowed here, except that the driveway's here, so we need the setback variance. The next slide. The neighbors have consented. Our home, our 3 closest neighbors have all submitted letters of support. Linda's obviously the main one affected. We'll be up against her boundary line. We're not gonna encroach into her. So we'll be very close. She's okay with it. Across the street does not mind, and our next door adjacent neighbor does not mind either. The written letters of support are in the materials. This is just another diagram. We're kind of like having too much fun with this. If there's any question on it? We did debate. I wish Max was here because Max is the driveway guru. We talked about this section of the code, and whether or not this widening has to happen within, whether or not it has to start, commence and terminate within 20 feet of the garage door or 20 feet of the parking area. If there's some back and forth codes as determined, it's going to be awesome areas. I'll use this in future too. Next slide. It's just the same diagram on overlaid onto the survey. And just this true board version of that, and that's really the end of the presentation. The rest of the materials were only in case there were questions on the code. Happy to talk about those, and I included the letters of support too. That's it. I don't see any of our neighbors here. Tim, you're not representing one of our neighbors, are you? Okay.
Do other people in the neighborhood have similar?
Yeah, they do. So I mean, the neighborhood's because it's so tight, Dwitshire. I mean, there's many non-conforming driveways, including driveways that are against the boundary lines that are less than 8-foot setback. I mean, our driveway already, even just to replace the 10-foot portion, would require a variance as well. Maybe not, but all around Dwitshire are neighborhoods.
The 5 closest ones I can think of are probably non-conforming, either too close to the boundary line or wide at the street, which you're not supposed to be wide at the street, like the 4 that are closest to us.
Including the most,
Like the Witch Shark.
Yeah.
including this driveway across the street is 2 widths and the curb cut. It's the opposite of what's permissible by code.
I'm not seeing any alternatives. Am I missing anything? Is there another way to do this without
No
variance?
No, well, without, you'd always have to have a variance. You could take the whole driveway and move it over here. But then you'd need a variance to not be perpendicular in front of the garage. So this driveway improvement can slide across here, but it's always gonna need a variance of some sort.
Yeah, I don't see anything we can do this without some sort of exception.
Is there any access along the side of the house to a door or anything? Sometimes when I see an extension off of the driveway along the side of the house, there ends up being a walkway down the side of the house. And I just want to confirm that there is no intention to sidewalk in or something else that's right along the property line.
Along this here, no, there's not.
We don't.
It does
have
end at the
exit
face of
there.
the house. I'm sorry.
Well, there's no exit there.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, no exit there.
So it whatever you're doing ends at the face of the drive, of the drive.
That's
So it's a 30-foot length. And 7 feet.
I measured 45, well, it's 30 to probably the boundary line, but it's 45 to the approved street. So it's that. The hedges, if you ever drove by, are just over the property line. There's this much of roadway, even though the paved roadway begins quite a bit a ways out.
So there's existing bushes in the front step.
Yes, right. Not this one. This
Okay, so
one's gone.
That one's gone.
These are on there.
So you're not asking us to approve all the way out to the street though? Even though you're gonna take the bushes out the driveway?
It's just the side setbacks, it's just that foot between the property
It's
lines.
this setback here. That's right.
Any further questions?
Motion?
What am I proposing?
The motion would be to approve an area variance of 7 feet to allow a residential driveway to be located 1 foot from the west property line. Am I right about the direction, the west side?
Western, yes,
Driveway or parking lot? There's two different things, there's driveway and there's parking area, which is it?
It's all the driveway, that you're allowed the parking area as part of your driveway.
Okay.
It's not two separate, it's not separately
Not
paved, it just looks, it appears to be separately paved when you look at the colors.
Got it. So,
we're not gonna.
I mean,
It would be very ugly if you did.
The neighbors would. complain.
I think that there was.
I'll make a motion to permit a 7-foot variance to allow for a driveway extension within 1 foot of the property boundary.
Seconds,
I'll second.
second by Kelly, got a motion by Jamie, second by Kelly to approve an area variance of 7 feet to allow a residential driveway to be located 1 foot. From the property line on the west side of the principal structure, we'll go through criteria, will there be an undesirable change produced in the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties created by granting the variance?
No, it's consistent with it.
There's some other benefits sought by the applicant, or excuse me, can the benefits sought by the applicant be achieved by some other method feasible for the applicant to pursue?
Not without another variance.
Oh, Dan kind of went over that too. The requested variance substantial,
Yes.
Yeah, 7 feet, yeah.
will there be an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district?
No, put in something about like the unusually spaced lots. Just which has a little. And there it's tight, so that's right. So we know somebody else didn't back with the same thing.
Alleged difficulty self-created.
Yes.
Okay, got a motion by Jamie, second by Kelly for approval, call for a vote, member Della Posta,
Yes.
member Peterson,
Yes.
member Trevette,
Yes.
Warbeck is recused, vice chair Cornfeld.
Yes.
Chairperson O'Connor,
Yes.
passes 5-0. Congrats, Leanne.
Thank you.
I'll see you home. Mark, did you get to vote?
I did,
Okay.
first,
Praise vote, Mark, congratulations.
thank you.
Thanks.
Next application is Cynthia Newton for 211 Kirkpatrick Street.
Before I read this notice, is it Newton or is it Newtown?
Newtown.
I thought it was
Sorry,
Newtown.
yes.
I was scared for a week to make this mistake. Cynthia Newtown.
It happens all
If
the
you see Newton spelled anywhere, my apologies. I meant to put Newtown.
Thank
I'll read the notice. Notice is hereby given pursuant to section 267A of the New York State Town Law. That a public hearing will be held by the zoning board of appeals of the town of DeWitt, New York. At the town offices 5400 Butternut Drive, East Syracuse, New York, Monday, June 15th, 2026. 6:40 PM to consider the application of Cynthia Newtown, received by the DeWitt Town Clerk on May 26, 2026. Concerning the premises situated at 211 Kirkpatrick Street, tax map parcel ID 035140060. Cynthia S. Newtown, owner in a residential 2 zoning district. Specific relief requested by the applicant is an area variance of 2 feet to allow the applicant to construct a 6-foot fence in the front yard. Where DeWitt Town Code section 192-95A1 states the fence may be no more than 4 feet high from the finished lot grade in the front yard. And for such additional relief as may be necessary or appropriate, that's dated June 3rd, 2026. For purposes of seeker, the town is declaring lead agency for purposes of seeker. This is a type 2 action for an area variance for single family, 2-family, or 3-family residents. There are no negative environmental impacts associated with the proposed action. Another residential application, there is no planning board recommendation or GML recommendation. And again, sorry for my long-windedness. Go right ahead.
Thank you. I have several things that I've brought. Should I, well, so the first, I have several photos of my current fence, which is more than 20 years old. It was present on the property when I purchased it in 2007. I'll pass these around as well, but this is what the outside of the fence looks like. Over the years that I've owned the home, I have painted it repeatedly. I've replaced numerous broken boards. And it's just come to a time where it can no longer be repaired, it really needs to be replaced. You can see several broken boards, and then just recently over the winter, there was a storm that actually blew it open. And so my neighbor was kind enough to help me just keep it together until I could get my new fence installed. So that's the current state of it, and I can pass these around. Where do I start? Thank you. And then I have contracted with the vinyl outlet to have this 6-foot vinyl fence that is a white outer and then a gray inner panels to be erected. Up on the screen for you. Oh, yes, thank you. And so that would be put in the exact same location and the exact same size as the currently existing wooden fence that I have. I understand, I was not aware of the zoning ordinance until I put in my application for the permit. And it was explained to me that I had a couple of alternatives. One of which being that I could replace portions of my existing fence at a time over the course of time. But I want to replace the wooden fence with a vinyl fence, so that's not really a viable option. I was also told that I could erect a 6-foot fence if it was from the corner of my house straight back. And so based on the fence plans, and it shows the measurements that I would be losing 16 feet wide and 52 feet length of fenced in yard area, which by my calculations is 832 square feet. Already having a pretty small backyard, I don't find that to be a viable option either. For me to be able to enjoy the privacy of my backyard, I feel a 6-foot fence is necessary, and it wouldn't be changing the character of the neighborhood because I already have a 6-foot fence in the same exact location. I also have some photographs of 301 Nelson Avenue, which is a corner lot directly behind my lot. So I'm on the corner of Roby and Kirkpatrick, and this is on the corner of Roby and Nelson. So our driveway is nearly above, but there's about a 3-foot patch of land with trees between our driveways. And those neighbors have a 6-foot fence that, just like mine, juts out several feet from their home and then goes straight back. So it's virtually a mirror image of my fence right behind me. So there's several photos of that as well. And so I think the fact that a neighbor on a corner lot also has a 6-foot fence, by replacing my existing 6-foot fence would not change the character of the neighborhood. I also was able to speak to a few of my neighbors, and they have signed letters in support. I have 5 of them here that I would also like to submit. I was not able to speak to all of my neighbors face to face, but I just want to state that every neighbor I did speak to face to face signed a letter. None of them voiced any concerns or opposition to me, and I don't see any of them here today.
Can I ask a question? Is the fence located within the setback? Where the you have a map to show where the it can't be within the
Survey,
yeah.
the survey and the application.
I have submitted one with the application. I think I do have an extra.
Curious if they're involved.
Have you checked the side yards?
It looks like it surveys the fences with the boundaries of the property based on that survey.
No, the property, what about this?
Only 6 inches.
Oh, the
6
fence,
is off property,
yeah,
and
that's
that's
right.
the property line, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. I was thinking of the other,
Okay.
the other
My fence is at least 6 feet from the road.
one. We had a different fence one that I'm thinking of in my head, that's not,
Okay.
sorry.
I'm struck by how close 211 is to 209.
We share a hedge line actually that separates our
And
backyard.
there's houses through.
They're basically on top of each other.
Yeah, and if this wasn't a corner lot, it was all your backyard, you could have 6 foot fence. Completely, right?
The backyard, yes,
The backyard,
because there's 2 front yards.
Yeah,
The front yard
because-
you can.
Because it's on a corner.
Yeah.
Which makes it a little.
Well, that was my only concern about where the line was. And that's it.
Same.
Does anyone have any other questions?
Motion simply to allow for a 6 foot fence in the front yard. It's kind of on all sides, yeah, so it's front yard.
Is your proposal that square off what's currently an angled corner?
Yes, when I bought the house, it was squared off, but because of damaged boards and, I had them angle it at one point just to get rid of some boards, damaged boards.
So you plan to change it now from what's here? Which is shown on the survey?
From what's currently there, that's an angle, is now just gonna be squared off as it was originally.
Consistent with the survey.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
So this is the way.
yes.
Motion to approve 6 foot fence.
Seconds?
Second.
Motion by Jamie, second by Josh to approve an area variance. to Allow for a 6 foot fence, front yard of the principal structure. Criteria will be an undesirable change produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties created.
So it follows the original. That's what 6 foot fence footprint.
And others.
Some other method. And then a bid sought by the applicant be achieved by some other method feasible for the applicant to do.
She discussed other methods, but they don't seem.
There's a significant reduction in the backyard.
Requested variance substantial. Yes. Be an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. No. Utilize difficulty self-created.
Yes.
A little bit, also kind of the nature. But it fall apart. This is one of those where it's on the fence.
I got a motion by Jamie, second by Josh to approve an area variance to allow for a 6 foot fence in the front yard of the principal structure. Call for a vote. Member John Costa.
Yep.
Member Perrin. Oh, sorry, I gotta delete. Member Peterson,
Yes.
member Trevette,
Yes.
member Warbeck,
Yes.
Vice Chair Cornfeld,
Yes.
Chairperson O'Connor.
Yes.
Congratulations, Cynthia.
Thank you,
6-0 unanimous.
thank you so much.
We got all the folks we need on Zoom for this next one, guys. Is this all Zoom?
Oh, we're here.
Oh, hi, hi, sorry to assume.
We're a hybrid.
Welcome, welcome. Did not mean to
You're
disconnect.
raising Kate, right?
Yes,
Yes, we're up.
I gotta do my whole spiel, guys, so take your time. Okay.
Are you here for this application?
What was it?
Are you here for this application?
I'm doing that channel 3, yeah.
For the raising names.
Yeah, covering that.
There's big news.
I just put some mics on for audio.
Everything's the same except for the labels.
Well, thanks.
Just the combined one. Email this to us.
When you're all set, just give me a thumbs up on the start.
We wanna flip to the first page.
Not real response.
Yeah.
Going as fast as you
Things we have in last time. I'm going, otherwise we're good.
Okay, I'll get started then. I got a long notice here, so, and hold on a second. We got GML for this one, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'll start with the notice. Notice is hereby given pursuant to section 267A of the New York State Town Law that a public hearing will be held by the zoning board of appeals of the town of DeWitt, New York, town offices, 5400 Butternut Drive, East Syracuse, New York, on Monday, June 15th, 2026, 6:45 PM, to consider the application of Raising Cane's Restaurant LLC, received by the DeWitt Town Clerk on May 28th, 2026, concerning the premises situated at 3159 Erie Boulevard East, tax map parcel ID 044074141, DeWitt Town Center, Inc., owner, in a business zoning district. Specific relief requested by the applicant is as follows. 1, an area variance of 65.46 square feet to allow for total signage area of 185.46 square feet, where DeWitt Town Code Section 192-106 F3 allows for a maximum total signage area of 120 square feet. 2, an area variance to allow for 5 additional attached signs on street facades to which the lot does not have an access drive, where DeWitt Town Code Section 192-106 F3A allows for 1 attached sign per street facade to which the lot has an access drive. 3, an area variance to allow 2 attached signs to be located 2 feet above the roofie, where DeWitt Town Code Section 192-106 G4C requires attached signs to be installed a minimum distance of 1 foot below the roofie. 4, an area variance of 32 parking spaces to allow for a total parking space count 36 parking spaces, where DeWitt Town Code Section 192-103D requires a minimum of 68 parking spaces. And 5, an area variance to allow the restaurant drive-through to have 4 stacking spaces per lane measured from the order box, where DeWitt Town Code Section 192-104A requires a restaurant drive-through to have a minimum of 6 stacking spaces per lane measured from the order box, and for such additional relief as may be necessary or appropriate. It's dated June 3rd, 2026. For seeker, the town is declaring lead agency for purposes of seeker. This is an unlisted action for commercial area variance, or a few commercial area variances. There are no negative environmental impacts associated with the proposed action. We do have a planning board recommendation on file. Is that correct? That can be referenced later. And we have a GML recommendation from the county on file. So we're all set. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Yes, yeah, you're welcome.
Save me some talking, but I'll go through it all again. For the record, I'm Karen Majanowski with Bowler Engineering, here with Nan Weisel, project manager on behalf of Raising Cane's, and FL Gorman of Harris Beach, Murtha, land use attorney for the project. We're also joined by Hisu online of Raising Cane's, Jennifer of AGI Signs, and Dusty of ADA Architects. So we have all the parties and consultants here this evening to speak to the project and answer any questions. As mentioned, the parcel is located at 3159 Erie Boulevard East in the B business zone, and it is an existing Taco Bell restaurant with drive-through that we're looking to propose to redevelop with an approximately 3,472 square foot Raising Cane's restaurant with an additional 573 square feet of patio space. So we did use the total of those 2 numbers for our parking calculation, which we'll get into a little bit. And if we want to start to slide to the site plan after the second aerial.
We will have to do this.
Perfect. So this is our proposed site layout, if this is going to work on the screen. Erie Boulevard East is on this side of the page, and then the restaurant faces the road here. And we were intentional to keep the drive-through itself out of the front yard. So as you enter the site, there's 2 different access points, both here and here. and that allows for both customers and truck circulation as well. This parcel is only accessed through DeWitt Town Center, so we're not proposing a curb cut to Erie Boulevard East directly. So the way it operates today will be the similar in the proposed condition. You'll use the existing signalized entrance here or the existing one further to the southeast. So everyone's entering through DeWitt Town Center. As I mentioned, parking is located, as you can see. So per code, and one of the area variances that we're requesting is the amount of parking spaces. So if you were to take the square footage at 1/60 of the restaurant and the patio square footage total, it would require 68 parking spaces, which is way more than we need. We're proposing 36 for a relief requested of 32 spaces. Raising Cane's has over 900 operating locations here, so they have a lot of data that supports the request. We actually have done parking count studies of other operating restaurants. There's none in this area of upstate New York. This would be one of the first. So we took a couple from other locations that are open and operating, and it was found that based on those parking counts, that about 6.37 spaces per 1,000 square feet were needed, which here would equate to about 26 spaces. And again, we're proposing 36. So as part of their business and part of this project, we are proposing a drive-through. As you can see, it has 2 lanes. So the inner lane is always open, and then they open up the second lane as needed. So they have crew members who are monitoring this and opening that up, using that as needed. They're also able to go out with tablets and take orders out in the drive-through to help speed things up. The total time in the drive-through is about 2.5 minutes per customer.
I had a quick comment. I'm very familiar with this Taco Bell through many, many years. When those cars are leaking out of the lot there, is that just gonna be a double? Because right now, if you go to Taco Bell and the line is long, it's all the way down that parking lot. How about this when there's long lines?
Yeah, so the
Where
double.
do the cars go?
So the double here shows the full capacity, and we'll get into the numbers for that. But in the inner lane, we have 6 vehicle stacking spaces from pickup to order point, where 4 are required for town code. And then from order point back in the inner lane, we have 4 vehicle stacking spaces where 6 are required. So that leads into one of the other variances for relief of 2. So town code requires that we count just 1 lane, but really we have 2. So we have double that here. So where it looks like we have 4, we actually have 8. And then on the outer lane, we gained 7 spaces from order point to pick up, just because the lane is longer.
The biggest issue with Taco Bell was having one drive-through, so.
1 lane,
Yeah,
right?
we're having 1 lane, that's what I mean,
Right,
so.
yes, this solves a lot of that.
Yeah.
We anticipate this will be sufficient. Obviously, if there was any backup, it could continue on site. But as far as operations go, this should be sufficient. Again, with the, I don't know, Taco Bell's.
Oh, they're going
time,
faster
drive-through,
too,
but
right? Yeah.
we're going faster,
Yeah.
exactly. So that speaks to the parking count and then the stacking relief. So we are requesting relief of the 2 spaces from order point back. And then just back to the parking really quick. As you can see, we have a lot of space here. So we could add more parking, we just don't need it, and we see the benefit in the green space over the impervious pavement that, again, we just don't need. So we would rather have the green space and landscaping when we know that this layout and amount of parking can operate for the project.
Are you adding green space from what's there currently?
So from what's there today. Currently, the lot coverage is 38.1% and will be at 62.4%, where 80% is allowed, so we're still well within that. I'm gonna move on to signs if that's okay.
I did have one question.
Sure.
On the, so you say you have more than you need between the pickup window and the order box, but less than you need behind the order box?
That's correct,
Is
and
there a
that's
reason why you haven't just adjusted where the order box is?
because this, based on the history and their operations and what they know works for them, is what they feel they need that works at other locations that are already operating.
That would be having the order box in that location right there, right?
Yeah,
That's what I mean.
that way.
Yeah.
And that's why we need variance. That will be the most, it's the most efficient way to operate based on that history. If we wanna go to the next slide. So this was already submitted and this is the handout you have in front of you. The only change that I would like to mention is, and I'll go through it as I go through the signs, so we updated the labeling. For each one, just to add more descriptions. When we presented this to the planning board last week, they asked for that additional clarification on which side of the building was facing which direction, so we did add that. And then starting at the elevation on the top. So this is facing Erie Boulevard East, and that's considered our front, so it's facing the road. The only other change we made is we had a little "do-it" painted on the building right there that we were told is not allowed, so that's been taken off. So that will no longer say "do it" right on the building. That's typical of them. They usually have that there for the municipality they're in. Otherwise, the heart mural that you see here is something they typically have. It's made out of aluminum that would be attached to the building, and that mural is considered a sign here. So that is one wall sign that we're proposing, and that counts towards the aggregate square footage of signage that we're requesting. The other sign on that front Erie Boulevard East facing facade is the Raising Cane's sign. So we have 4 of those. We have one on each side of the building. And those are about 20.75 square feet each, and that's boxing out the sign. So this is not a rectangular sign. So that doesn't count for boxing that out, which does add to the square footage a little bit rather than taking the actual signage area. So that's how the calculation was taken to count towards the total. To screen the rooftop units, they have these metal panels that carry across, even with the brick, to create a nice facade, so that the facade and the building doesn't just stop, so that you have that screening. It creates a uniform roof line. It was interpreted that sign, because it is above the brick material, yet still below the metal paneling, that it would still require a variance, as it's supposed to be 1 foot below the eave per code. We see the roof line as the top of the metal paneling to screen the rooftop units. But since it was interpreted this way, we are requesting a variance for that component of the sign as far as where it's located.
That'd be 2 of those for the roof eave one on each side.
That's correct. So there's 2 variances for the being above the eave.
I guess I'm so confused. Why do you need all 4 sides to have a sign?
Sure. So as far as all 4 sides having the sign, we have a unique situation here. So we have a front facing wall that faces Erie Boulevard East. Also, you could see both sides of the building as you're approaching from either direction of the roadway. And then this isn't a lot that has a typical rear yard that doesn't face anything. This is very much a centrally located building that you will be entering the site from the rear. So typically you wouldn't have that scenario, but in this scenario, as you enter, or say you're shopping at Do-It Town Center and you go to leave, it will help identify what the building is. So that's why we see the need for a wall sign on all four sides of the building, because you could be coming from four directions. So we do have one of those on each wall. And then moving down, so the second elevation down is what we consider the main entry, which faces the parking lot. So if you're looking at our site plan and standing in the parking lot, you're gonna be looking at this elevation. So this is the main door that people will be using the most. And then inside of the building, through the glazing, you see a chicken finger sign. It's lit up, it's 3 square feet, it's not large, but that does count towards our aggregate sign area. So that is in the information that was submitted. And then again, same discussion with the wall sign above the, what's considered the eave on that facade. Moving down to the third one, so this is what we consider the rear of the building, which faces the ring road, where everybody would be driving by and accessing for the most part. We're requesting one wall sign there. And then lastly, the bottom elevation, thank you. So this is the drive-through side. So this is what you see when you enter from the signalized intersection, the wall sign located on the drive-through side of the building as well. Just for clarification, the freestanding sign will be kept and refurbished for this, so that is not seeking any relief there. So as mentioned, we're seeking relief for 65.46 additional square feet for all the signs that count towards that. Where one attached sign is allowed, we have 5 additional proposed. Where signs are to be 1 foot below the roof eave or gable, and we have 2 signs that do not meet that 1 foot below. For parking, where 68 spaces are required, we have 36, seeking relief of 32. And for stacking, where 6 spaces from the order box back are required, we have 4 proposed per lane. So a relief of 2 there. And then we met with the planning board last Thursday and received a recommendation here. I don't know if everyone has seen a copy of it. I haven't seen the formal document, but I certainly have the motions that were made. If we want to go through that as well, but first, FL, I don't know if you want to talk about the 5 factors that go with each, just to supplement our application.
Thank you, Karen.
Catch my breath.
Yeah, if you'd like, I can go through the 5-factor test. The stacking and the parking, we dealt with that together. One of the things that Karen brought up was the fact that the average speed to go through the drive-through is 2.5 minutes. So it's super quick. And it's like, how is it super quick? It's because they only have a couple menu items. They have the chicken fingers, French fries, coleslaw, Texas toast, and then beverages. So 5 items. So, and they've got it down like clockwork. As some of you know, with these, a lot of the drive-thrus actually even have timers on the drive-thrus, from the order window to the pickup window.
Are employees going out to deliver to the cars like you see at Chick-fil-A?
Yes.
And they said, taking
So,
orders too, they're going out before the order box and taking orders?
With tablets, yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, so we think with, and then the fact that there's more green space, you know, we think as far as the parking count, you know, it's certainly not going to change the character of the neighborhood or any detriment. We've got a Taco Bell there. We actually think we're going to be definitely going to be improving the look of that. You know, there's really no feasible alternatives the way that we have the traffic flow set up for the site plan. We've worked with the town, you know, quite a bit on trying to get the ideal site plan. You know, we think the parking variance that we're requesting is not substantial. I think it's like, you know, roughly 8%. So we think that's insubstantial. There's no physical or environmental negative impacts by this variance. And while it is self-created, that alone, as you know, doesn't defeat the variance. And we think that the reduced parking actually makes for a better site. on the stacking request for the stacking variance. Essentially the same factors. We don't think that makes the site flow better. And so it's not gonna be any, it's not a detriment to the neighborhood and character of the neighborhood. And if you've been to the DeWitt Town Center, it's, the site is actually below grade a little bit. I think it's like roughly 10% below grade, below Erie Boulevard. So the stacking, it's not like you can see it from the road. With the way we have the site configured, we don't believe there's other feasible alternatives other than reduced stacking. Again, we don't think that's a substantial variance. We don't believe there's any physical or environmental negative impacts from the reduced stacking. Again, we think that makes the site flow better. While it's self-created, that alone does not defeat the request for the variance. On the signage, as Karen mentioned, we did get positive recommendations from the town on the signage square footage, except for the side that faces the parking lot for the DeWitt Town Center. They did not want to have a sign on that side.
What side is that right there?
Yeah, right there, yes. And if you've been to DeWitt Town Center recently, which I have, it actually adds a little aesthetics, I think, to the building rather than just a plain brick side. You know it's there, and so we actually think that it improves the neighborhood character in the shopping center with that additional color on that side. And as Karen said, the site's unique. You come in from the Applebee side or the front road or the main access road. And I think it helps for wayfaring to actually have signage on all those signs. And again, while it's self-created, that in and of itself won't keep the variance. And then on the square footage for the sign, we're asking for roughly 184 square feet. We got a recommendation from the planning board for all of that except for the rear sign. But with the 184 square feet, that's roughly a 50% increase over what's allowed. We don't think allowing the 184 square feet would actually be a negative impact to the neighborhood. As you know, the Chick-fil-A was approved for 262 square feet of signage. They have like 110% increase over signage. We're asking for roughly 50%. And I think the way it helps with the aesthetics of the building, that it actually makes for a better site. And then the last variance that we're asking for is the variance for the Raising Cane signs, below the roof line. And we actually had above, yeah. So it's got to be at least 1 foot below the roof line. It's like, what is the roof line? What is the roof line? And Dusty Johnson, our architect, who's online here, we're going back and forth on, what's the definition of roof line? The town has defined it as, I guess where the brick ends. I would say that our architect is not in full agreement. We're willing, we understand, but we actually think it looks a little bit better it's got a little more aesthetic architectural significance with the way we have it set out. And it's not like a lot of people are going to see it from the DeWitt Town Center, so we don't think there's going to be negative impacts in the community. So, we would like to see that variance granted.
If we were to say, we're gonna have 3 signs on 4, which 3 would you pick?
As far as the Raising Cane's logo,
Yeah,
we would get rid of the one on the elevation fall reason.
Regarding the sign relative to the roof, I agree with the planning board I think the roof does stop there. That is the rest of to the right, it's a brick parapet. And that is a perforated screen. Now, if you were to consider that a different material for the parapet, making it opaque, then I think you would have an argument. Currently, the sign doesn't conform, I think, in my opinion. And I ask you, what alternatives have you considered for that material that would eliminate the need for variance in this condition?
It's not seen. Sure.
So for the signs, that we're considering above the brick, so therefore above the roof eave. The screening is not see-through, so that is our stance, is that you create this massing of the building and screening, again, that carries through. So yes, we're switching materials, but it seems as though the intent of the town code maybe was that if you were to have signs that are sticking up above buildings, right, in a more distasteful way, in my opinion, that might be the intent, but it's not like we don't have building behind it. We do. We have a different material behind those signs.
It's a metal panel.
I'm gonna follow up with Jamie. It does say here perforated metal panel. Which to my mind implies it's
Not opaque.
It's not opaque. There is a note on here that says opaque backing that blocks the visibility of equipment behind, but there's nothing that describes what that is.
I know McNichols doesn't have like a material that it's just perforated screening. Unless you're proposing something other than McNichols product. There really isn't anything beyond the perforated screening that would render it open.
My name's Jennifer Squires, and we actually manufacture those panels. I can tell you that we use the perforated metal, and there is an acrylic back behind it that is meant to be opaque, so that it is not actually something you can see through, and that is meant as a screening for the equipment.
Is that described here in the submission?
Not on that sheet, no.
But Ms. Squires is our sign consultant.
Yeah, the panel right next to it.
So that's a fabricated piece with an opaque backer behind the perforation.
Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
And when we say opaque, is some sort of a gray paint or something? I mean, what is it?
It's an acrylic material that has an opaque vinyl with it, and you'll see that there are vertical upright supports along the roof line that are there that hold those panels in place. So there's a structure, yes.
Is there a gap between the coping and the bottom of the panels? It looks to be there's a line.
There's a very slight gap, yes, to allow for the mounting material to the actual building itself.
So you haven't considered any other material to answer my question?
Not at this time.
Planning board recommended either moving the sign over to the brick, or moving the material that's under the sign up higher. They agreed, and architects on that board also felt the same, that this didn't meet the code as far as being 1 foot under the eave.
I mean, our position would be it doesn't really negatively affect the neighborhood. Aesthetically, you know, it's kind of.
Probably, you might want to talk about the number of signs first. That's gonna dictate the rest.
Okay.
So I think you determine the number of signs, you'll know which ones you want, and then either have a roof issues or not.
You also have a monument sign, I assume?
Yeah, it's an existing monument sign, yes.
So doesn't that address the questions about traffic traveling both east and west on Erie Boulevard? Isn't that the point of the monument sign?
The monument sign helps, but the speed limit is 40 miles an hour. And I think from the outside lane of Erie Boulevard to the building, it's over 100 feet. So if you're on the outside line of Erie Boulevard, you might actually catch the monument sign just after you pass it.
Where is the monument?
Same place as the.
Where Temple House is.
And then all the trees,
It's in front.
all are still there as well.
Grass.
So between Erie Boulevard and the building.
Yes.
It's like yeah.
And we're keeping all the trees that are there as well, so we kind of have to work with the existing location that's out front and size, so. The square footage is small, it's like a little under 20 square feet side.
You're asking for a lot in totality. It seems to me that the rear facing sign, at that point. Anyone entering the site is familiar with, has either seen the signage. There's plenty of opportunities between the monument sign, the signage on the side of the building facing east and west, and the one facing south. I guess it's South Erie Boulevard, South Erie Boulevard. Sorry, east. It seems to me that that's unnecessary and it's difficult to come to terms with, in my mind.
And if there were just 3 signs, you'd be under the 120? Is that right?
No, it'd still be over.
Still be over.
By like
That's
30.
about 20 square feet a piece, you said? I think that's 20.
It depends, there's not just the Raising Cane signs, there's
building
the
sign.
little chicken finger and then.
And then the mural,
What's the square footage of
The
the
mural
mural?
that faces.
39.88.
That alone is 39.8.
It's 40.
Without that and without one sign, you're under.
I mean, there are currently, as you know, 2 signs out in front. Taco Bell has the Taco Bell sign.
Without the sign facing the plaza, you're
Taco Bell
under.
has one,
Square footage.
has the building sign
Still
and
got
monument
a bunch of
sign,
signs.
And also their name.
They do, they actually do have 2 front signs.
which they don't have a variance for, so we're not sure how that got there. And Taco Bell did apply for a variance at some point several years ago to have additional building signage on the sides, and that was denied. So as far as we can see, they were approved for the monument sign and 1 building sign facing Erie, which you get by right.
That's there, that's there.
We determine what signs you approve and.
Do you folks have anything that's not a rendering? It's actually a picture of a similar installation. I think I'm getting thrown by the phrase. That's.
I Googled it, just saw the image of the sign, it's an opaque image of it, so this. It's helpful to see, it is like a white background with the perforation on top of it.
And
I'm not sure
the
if
picture
the-
you were just looking at with that
Yeah,
big number 1,
yeah.
that's actually on the frontage facing Erie as
That's
well.
brick.
Yeah,
If the planning board had them make it brick, so it'd be more of a building.
Oh, I see it.
Then
Oh,
another
yeah,
sign,
yeah.
originally that was proposed to be red, and planning board told them it would be another sign.
that looks nice, I was just trying to dig in on the issue of what the roof line.
Yeah, it just reminded me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did start as red, so we have,
And taller
and it was taller than the building, so. Maybe hard to believe, but we have scaled this back a lot. We used to have a banner, red dot banner, so. We have worked with the town and the planning board along the way, to get to the final product here.
Well, we might have started at like 200. Let's see,
Sure.
something like that, that's.
Not necessary, don't necessarily.
That's fair.
I mean, I like the way that it looks, my concern is more.
We said.
Right, that's, I like,
For the hard thing, I think that was.
yeah, I think it looks, the rendering looks good, I think the concern
It's not about whether it looks.
that
good.
I have
Every
is
restaurant's
that
gonna want that.
every restaurant's gonna want that.
I mean, again, compared to the Chick-fil-A, I think our request is.
Chick-fil-A doesn't have anything like that on their wall, as far as I know.
Got really big signs though.
Chick-fil-A's got a lot of signs, I'm not gonna argue, I'm actually.
Chick-fil-A has 250.
But the size of the buildings.
They're much bigger buildings, they also have road frontage.
They have more allowable signs, they have more
Right.
access drives. Facing more roads, it's.
So you called it a mural, but it's actually a sculptural element that sits proud of the building. If you consider maybe, I don't know whether you consider signage if it was painted brick or the brick was different colored.
Planning board.
Okay, even if it's a different color brick to make the brick, it'd still be signed, right?
Yeah, we actually had to get painted in the corner. We took it off.
I've tried to look for option.
And I'm concerned that we didn't approve Taco Bell for additional space. Oh, that's weird.
1990, I believe, Taco Bell.
Oh, okay.
And I was born in.
I don't think
Europe,
I
but
remember.
I'm not here, I was 1 year old.
Yeah, did everyone note also the little chicken finger sign above the door?
Is that part of the variance?
Yes.
That's an additional sign as well as, that's a end sign.
Can you zoom in on that? What does that look like?
It's 3 feet.
3 square feet.
Just says chicken
Just says
fingers?
chicken fingers?
Yes,
Oh, right, there.
Oh.
that's an additional sign on that sign.
Well, so that one plus the 4 cane signs on the 4 sides plus the heart. Those are the 6.
Those are the 6.
The one allowable by right being the one
Facing here.
facing Erie.
So there's,
So there's 5 additional, the one on Erie is already allowable, the other 5 are all variance requests. But depending on how many signs you allow, that's gonna determine the square footage, and that's gonna determine the roof use most likely, so. You gotta start with this number. Stacking and parking are separate, that's separate.
For what it's worth, I think it's a unique site. It is one of the only restaurant sites I can think of where it truly is kind of like a 360 rotation on one hand. On the other hand, if you enter the plaza, we'll approach this building for quite some ways, knowing that you're approaching the restaurant. I'm not sure another sign facing where Time Warner Cable is, or Spectrum is right now, this really makes a difference of guiding customers to the location. As the number of signs, I think probably three sides of the building would be acceptable to me. The sign above, what we've determined is or the planning board has determined is the roof line, I think looks good, and it is an opaque background. So I'm personally okay with that, I think it looks nice. And
Chicken fingers, you know.
I wish we would have left it to say do it, I think that would have better, I like the better. So I'm okay with all the signs, I just think we get rid of one roof sign facing. Or we just would deny one additional sign facing the interior of the plaza. The other ones would be okay with me. And the stacking makes sense for the business model, so.
Smart.
It is a lot of signage and there's a lot of variances here, but it is a very unique site, 360-degree restaurant building.
Does the safety of the site demand it? Sure.
I don't think it does.
I don't think it does.
No, because you're already in that site, you're in the plaza, knowing where you're headed.
Which is unique to Chick-fil-A in their site. Because
It's very hard to navigate in one location.
Traffic light.
It's not the same,
It's not the same.
location.
and it's setback.
Right, so
So is this, it's also setback.
this
Yeah, but
gives
not in the
me
same
greater
way.
pause.
Chick-fil-A also had several of those signs by right because they face, it was a multi-tenant site, they face public rights of way. The one they needed the variance for is actually.
Right.
So Josh is really aligning with the planning, you're aligning with the planning board application pretty much, right?
That's right.
No, well,
Well, with the exception, I think, I
What
don't wanna
about-
speak for Josh, go ahead.
No, please speak for me.
I think, I agree with Josh, I think where we just, with everything Josh has said, I think. Both of us disagree with the planning board about the sign above the eave, I think with the opaque material behind it. I think it eliminates the concern the planning board has.
So would you say there's no need for variance, would you say that's part of the roof?
I wouldn't say it's definitely not part of the roof, I would say it's part of the parapet and it.
But grant the variance.
would grant the variance. The roof
But
is the
you,
roof.
but you're saying they need a variance for being above the roof use still, correct?
But I think the planning board would recommend we don't approve it, and I think we do, I would recommend we do approve it.
I think some of the concern with the planning board was also setting a precedent. The planning board requires screen for all rooftop electricals, so there's screens like this on a lot of buildings in the town. Certainly want to see signage over all of that.
I see.
What about
It's creep.
what about chicken fingers and heart? I mean, those are really the two ones that aren't. Like the heart one, I just don't see it existing anywhere else in town. Chicken fingers is what it is, but.
Is the heart out lit up at all?
There is a light over it.
There's a light over that too.
It's that bar, right? Yes.
See, okay.
Oh, okay.
It's a lot of science.
It's a lot of science. I think it.
What do you think, Jamie? What?
Well, what would you propose?
Yeah, what would you propose? They're saying allow everything besides the one facing behind the plaza, if I'm not mistaken. Is that,
I do.
is that
I'm okay
correct?
with that.
That's what they're
Yes.
saying.
Yes.
What do you say, Jamie?
I agree with that one. I just feel like there's I'm not sure the reasons for all the science is all that compelling. I mean, they're nice, and I appreciate the graphic interest and the play of materials, but I don't want to set a precedent, so that's the reason I'm gonna pull back.
What would you propose?
So either I think the heart graphic needs to go, or the signs need to come down below the roof, or that material needs to change. I'm reiterating my concern about the roof edge. I mean, the screen the roof is below at that low parapet edge, where it transitions from, I guess it is brick to the screen. That's the elevation of the roof. So if we're talking about roof eaves, that's the roof. Whether it has an elaboration on top of it, it really isn't the roof. In my view. So compelling, not compelling?
Just an opinion. It's complicated.
It is.
Variance requests. They're asking for a lot of things. So.
I like the mural. I know it's considered signage, but I think it's a nice design. I know it's different.
And I think it'll look really nice with the lighting. I didn't realize it was lighted, but I think that's a nice, I like the contrast. I appreciate that. So.
Breaks up the wall and it's not really branding yet. That's typical.
Yeah,
sign. It's art.
I agree.
I have a question for you, Karen. You take away the sign that's on the facing the plaza, the planning board recommended no, and then they're saying no. What's the square footage now?
So we would need to 44.71 square feet additional.
And then that total would be one.
Be around 164.71.
What was the first number again? Sorry, 44 what?
44.714.
44.7, so it'd be 164.71. Gotcha, thanks.
Yep. I think in the recommendation, their number might have been a little off. They were trying to do math quickly, but the intent in the recommendation was to remove that one sign and recommend relief of 44.71 square feet.
I'd like to note for the signage discussion from the code. Signage shall be designed and located to convey the identity of the principal use or service in a simple manner with care to complement the architectural integrity of the building.
I will say in defense of the mural, if we're taking the sign off the back piece, and it's gonna be a lot of brick. Without, I mean, it's gonna look pretty industrial. The mural gives it a little more,
The mural's on the front.
But-
That's on the boulevard.
but right, but all the other parts of the building are gonna be brick without much signage or anything. Colorful. So I mean, just from an aesthetic standpoint, the mural breaks it up a little bit for me. So I didn't really have a problem with the mural. I just had a problem with having like a sign on every side of the building.
What about chicken fingers? Any problems with the chicken fingers?
It's not even innocuous to me, that didn't bother me. Everyone has their opinion.
Is there a sign on the front facade, below the Raising Cane, is that another sign there, what is that?
What we're considering the front, so you're
Yeah,
referring to
right
this
there.
one right here. So it's this and that,
Oh, it's open?
That's all.
Okay,
and that, oh, that just says open.
that's not another.
Oh,
sign?
it says, oh,
Well. Taco Bell has the Taco Bell and the monument sign all facing Erie Boulevard.
We don't have any record of a variance for a second sign on the.
For the, but it's, I mean,
another bell there.
I understand we didn't approve it, but it's there and it's been there. I think it's what everyone, I mean. I don't know.
If you remove the one time we talked about. Then we're gonna have one by right. And
Which is the one on facing Erie Boulevard, right?
4 additional, is that right?
Correct.
For the 144,
Yes.
1 plus 4. I'm just getting my motions. Okay,
I mean,
wanna make a motion?
I agree with,
it would be 164.
Wanna make a motion for number 7?
yeah, I would, oh, wait, might be that, are we saying 4?
What we just talked about, without the sign on the plaza, facing the plaza, is the 1 by right and 4 additional. Correct?
Removing the rear.
And the square footage the square footage under that scenario would change from whatever it was on the application, I just changed it to 164.71.
I just need to be able to see that.
It's the square footage. I didn't have a bunch right here, but first one, the number of signs, that's gonna change, cause I don't think
For 4
the
additional.
plaza, the back plaza sign is not a roof view sign, is that correct?
Correct.
So that you still have 2, views.
So we're making a motion to approve.
I have it lined up as this, additional signs first, I have roof views second. I have total square footage third. And then I've got parking, and then I've got stacked.
Does anyone, before we go through that, does anyone have any questions on the parking? Or the stacking?
I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't put it in that many spaces. People go in to eat every day.
Well, so I think that's what I was gonna say, part of your application, oh. I don't think we're this. So part of the application regarding the parking addresses that you're primarily a drive-through based operating facility. So I'm assuming that part of your analysis for reduction in parking relates to the way people purchase.
Correct, about 3/4 of the business is drive.
Okay. And the numbers that you provided in the chart attached to the parking demand data sort of shows the number would be still in excess actually of what you are anticipated need might be. Okay. And so then the stacking is to alleviate the the increase in drive-through. Part of that is to address the demand of drive-through.
Right, and the way it operates. So
Right.
we have the right number of spaces, it's just how they're designated where.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Does anybody have any specific questions on that before we start? So really, the issue is really the signs, correct?
Okay, so
Okay. Do we want to address the parking and the other stuff first?
last, the number sign here. I got a question for you though.
Yes.
Taking away the sign, face the plaza. What besides are the other 3 signs on? North, south, east, west?
Sure, so we'll start at the top. So the Erie Boulevard
That's by right.
southwest facing.
That's by right.
Say
That's by right.
Finished by the
Yeah,
K
yeah.
ordinance.
Yep.
Then we have.
Oh, you got
Yes.
yeah. So that is
That's on the
the,
same
That's east facing?
Southwest.
Oh, southwest, sorry,
Southwest.
sorry. On the southwest side, and then what's the next?
Next. So this faces the parking lot, which is southeast, then there's one wall sign for Raising Cane's, one Chicken Fingers, and then the Raising Cane sign is.
So I think I have to specify the sign, I'm sorry.
Rear, which is northeast, if that goes away, there's no sign on that side at all.
And then the fourth would be. Northwest, there's only one more option, that's right, northwest.
Yeah, so this would be sign number 5 if you took away the rear.
So on the southwest, sorry, asking these again, so southwest, we have the heart mural, and then we have a cane sign, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
One cane sign. And then on the southwest, and then on the southeast, we have a cane sign and a chicken finger sign.
Correct.
There, that's hard to see on our diagrams.
This is very. Is that like neon red or something?
Yellow, but it's inside the building, it's very small.
And one cane sign.
So.
I'll leave you. I'll leave you guys all. I'll leave you a cloud payment.
Southeast facade,
That's-
and
I
then
think-
northwest
Oh, they're kind of.
is going to be. Just the cane sign, is
No. No, that's right.
that right?
Yes.
Yes.
So if I'm correct, after these changes, there would be approval of 4 additional attached signs, which lot does not have an access drive, including. The mural and 1 Cane's attached sign on the southwest facade, 1 chicken finger sign and 1 Cane's attached sign on the southeast facade. 1 cane sign on the northwest building facade, is that correct? Anybody wanna make that motion?
I will so move.
Motion by Josh,
I'll second that.
second by Dan. Motion by Josh and a second by Dan to approve an area variance with 4 additional attached signs on street facades to which the lot does not have an access drive. Including the mural and 1 cane attached sign as presented by the applicant on the southwest facade. 1 chicken finger sign and 1 Cane's attached sign as presented by the applicant on the southeast facade. And 1 Cane's attached sign on the northwest building facade as presented by the applicant. Or DeWitt Town Code section 192-106 F3A allows for 1 attached sign per street facade to which the lot has an access drive.
We will put it in square footage.
Square footage is going next, yes, we have square footage and roof use still for signs. If you don't want the roof use, don't approve these signs, because we're approving the signs first. That's the motion.
That's a separate variance.
Yeah, that's separate.
I've got separate variances.
And we
I've got
can
them all
address
separate.
that.
Spent plenty of time on this thing, guys, we got it all set. Will there be an undesirable change to the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties created? Some other method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than an area variance?
No.
Nothing on signage. The requested variance substantial?
Yes.
Yeah, but you might also put a sentence about safety and varying and being able to find with that.
Okay, will the proposed variance have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district?
Yeah. Consistent with. Other buildings in the town.
So fast food. Is the alleged difficulty self-created?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've got a motion by Josh, second by Dan to approve an area variance for 4 additional attached signs on street facades to which the lot does not have an access drive, including the mural and 1 cane attached sign as presented by the applicant on the southwest facade. 1 chicken finger sign and 1 cane attached sign on this as presented by the applicant on the southeast facade. 1 cane attached sign as presented by the applicant on the northwest building facade. Where DeWitt Town Code section 192-106 F3A allows for 1 attached sign per street facade to which the lot has an access drive. Call for a vote. Member Della Posta.
Yes.
Member Peterson.
Yes.
Member Trevette.
Yes.
Member Warbeck.
Yes.
Vice Chair Cornfeld.
Yes.
Chairperson O'Connor.
Yes.
Okay, first one passes. I have roof eave next. Any objections to that?
I have no objection.
Discussion or motions?
I would make a motion to grant.
Motion by Kelly. This is a motion to approve an area variance. 2 attached signs to be located 1 foot
No,
above the roof eave? Or 2 feet?
1 foot.
1 foot above? Is that right? 2 feet above?
Wait, there's two signs.
The variance is from 1 foot below to 2 feet above.
Yeah.
Gotcha, okay, gotcha.
3 foot variance.
I gotcha. To be located 2 feet above the roof eave, or 192-106 G4C requires attached signs to be installed a minimum distance of 1 foot below the roof eave. Is that a second?
Second.
Second by Josh. Go through the criteria. Will there be an undesirable change produced in the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties created?
No.
Just some other method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than an area variance?
Yes.
Comment?
yes, they could change the material.
No, Nick?
Continue the brick, there's lots of design options they could. It would,
No,
would make the variance unnecessary.
the requested variance substantial?
Yes,
Yes.
There be an adverse effect or impact on physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district? Self-created?
yes,
A motion by Kelly, second by Josh to approve an area variance for 2 attached signs to be located 2 feet above the roof eave. Or section 192-106 G4C required attached signs to be installed a minimum distance of 1 foot below the roof eave. Call for a vote. Member Delaposta. Yes. Member Peterson.
Yeah.
Member Trevette.
no,
Member Warbeck.
Yes.
Vice Chair Cornfeld.
Yes.
Chairperson O'Connor.
Yes.
And passes 5-1. Got total square footage next. This is now an area variance.
Can I make a correction?
Yes.
So we asked for 154.71.
Can you ask, or is that? Yeah, no.
We're going down.
So what your
So
final,
with the motion that passed to remove one Raising Cane's wall sign of 30.75, it comes out to 154.7.
154.71,
We're allowed 120.
so it's even lower, okay, so now you're 34.71 square foot variance, is that right? Okay. 0.71, okay, so this is an area variance of 34.71 square feet for total signage area between all signs, attached signs of 154.71 square feet. Any motions?
Yeah, I motion to approve.
Motion by Dan, second.
Second.
Josh just beat you, Kelly. Motion by Dan, second by Josh to approve an area variance of, oh, sorry, I didn't fill a motion, second. 34.71, 154, so. I got a motion by Dan, a second by Josh to approve an area variance of 34.71 square feet. To allow for total signage area of 154.71 square feet. DeWitt Town Code section 192-106 F3 allows for maximum total signage area of 120 square feet. Go through the criteria. Will there be an undesirable change produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties created? Some other method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than an area variance?
Well, they know it.
What signage? Yeah, it's an obvious spot. They requested variance substantial?
It is, but make a note about the mural. So it isn't like they're just all signs. One of the reasons they need it is because they're putting a mural in our view that improves the aesthetics of the building and the neighborhood.
Will there be an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood district?
No.
Self-created?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, motion by Dan, second by Josh to approve an area variance of 34.71 square feet to allow for total signage area of 154.71 square feet. Call for a vote. Member Delaposta. Yes. Member Peterson.
Yes.
Member Trevette.
yes,
Member Warbeck.
Yes.
Vice Chair Cornfeld.
Yes.
Chairperson O'Connor.
Yes.
Okay, it passes 6-0. I got parking 4th and I've got drive-throughs 5th. I want to make a motion on the parking?
I make a motion to approve reduction in parking by
I've got a reduction of 32 parking spaces for a total count of 36.
I'm making.
You okay with that?
Approve it.
Any seconds? By Jamie? Motion by Kelly, second by Jamie to approve an area variance. Oh, I messed this up. Sorry. Motion by Kelly, second by Jamie to approve an area variance for parking space reduction, 32 parking spaces for a total parking count of 36 parking spaces. Where DeWitt Town Code, section 192-103D requires a minimum of 68 parking spaces. Go through the criteria. Will there be an undesirable change produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to neighborhood properties created? No. Some other method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than an area variance?
No, but you should note about the green spaces. That's a good space.
Yeah.
Just to put in the interest of preserving more green spaces.
Aren't they creating green space too?
I don't believe I think they're taking away green space. I think the
We are, but we're still below code.
but it's less than what's there now.
We be preserving the green space because otherwise that
Would have to be all the
Parking
parking.
Better than paved.
Yeah.
So request for variance substantial?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the adverse effect or impact on physical and environmental conditions in the neighborhood?
No.
Self-created?
Yes.
I got a motion by Kelly, second by Jamie to approve an area variance for parking space reduction, 32 parking spaces. Total parking count, 36 parking spaces. The DeWitt Town Code, section 192-103B requires a minimum of 68 parking spaces. Call for a vote. Member Delaposta.
Yes.
Member Peterson.
Yes.
Member Trevette.
Yes.
Member Warback.
Yes.
Vice Chair Cornfeld.
Yes.
Chairperson O'Connor.
Yes.
Passes 6-0. Last but not least. Drive-through stacking.
Yeah, it's business plan. I think the stacking variance makes sense, and I the variance.
Motion by Josh, do I have a second? Second by Jamie, I got a motion by Josh, second by Jamie to approve an area variance to allow the restaurant drive-through to have 4 stacking spaces per lane measured from the order box. Where DeWitt Town Code section 192-104A requires a restaurant drive-through to have a minimum of 6 stacking spaces per lane measured from the order box. The criteria, will there be an undesirable change produced in the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties created?
As explained by the applicant, there's sufficient room based on their statistics.
Some other method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than a variance?
Not on this site.
Requested variance substantial?
Yes.
An adverse effect or impact on physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district?
No, could incorporate having congestion.
Self-created? I got a motion by Josh, second by Jamie to approve an area variance to allow the restaurant drive-through to have 4 stacking spaces per lane measured from the order box. Where Town Code section 192-104A requires the drive-through to have a minimum of 6 stacking spaces from the order box. Call for a vote. Member Delaposta.
Yes.
Member Peterson.
Yes.
Member Trevette.
Yes.
Member Warback.
Yes.
Vice Chair Cornfeld.
Yes.
Chairperson O'Connor.
Yes.
6-0. Congratulations, guys. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you very much.
It's your time. Seems to be a good one to get the hell out of here. We got no motion first.
Before we get out.
So that's quite good.
So you gonna make a motion?
Make a motion to reach out.
Oh, yes. That's fine.
Yeah. There was a move. Yeah, I saw the well there.
It's actually.
Yeah. That's a good addition. That's
Questions? Right.
Okay, last but not least, I'll make this short. This is a board discussion for 4410 East Genesee Street. This matter was placed on tonight's agenda for board discussion following the close of the public hearing on May 18th, 2026. On June 11th, 2026, the decision was published by Onondaga County Supreme Court Justice Gerard J. Neary in a matter to which the zoning board of appeals is not a party. Such decision included an order from the court annulling Director Cantrell's letter of determination dated March 24th, 2026. That is the sole subject of these proceedings at the zoning board of appeals. The town of DeWitt has filed a notice of appeal, and the court's order is stayed through the pendency of that appeal. As it turns to the zoning board of appeals, given the current uncertainty and state of flux of this application, I recommend to the board a motion to table this matter during the pendency of the town appeal. Is there a motion?
I make a motion.
By Kelly,
A second.
second by Dan, all in favor?
I,
Opposed, abstained, motion to table is carried. Motion to adjourn. By Jamie. Second by. Kelly, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion's carried. Thank you, everyone, for that. Great job tonight. Attention. So tired of this fast